So we're back with another match ramble, and today, obviously, in honor of Wednesday, I'm recording this on Monday, so, I'm going to release this for Wednesday. But on this Wednesday, we finally get to see the AEW debut of Sareee, basically the greatest Joshi wrestler of all time, at least from my limited amount of knowledge. But point is, Saree's a fucking big deal. And similar to with the Hazuki match we did, the one with Mercedes, ironic, we're going to do one of Sareee. But obviously, there was a match I was going to do. And I've seen a bit of Sareee before I've done this video. Like Hazuki, I've seen some of Sareee. But her main one was last year's against Syuri. And that was fucking phenomenal. I didn't want to go over that match, admittedly. I wanted to go over a different match I'd seen, and obviously I got my buddy Alpha's Racist. He's been recommending matches, so he recommended one match, and I was like, that's it. That's the one I was going to do. And I wanted to talk about another Sareee match soon, but this one was the one I had to cover for today. Today we're going to be talking about a match from not Stardom, but Marigold Summer Destiny 2024 between Sareee and Giulia. Yes, Giulia from WWE and obviously Stardom fame. And this is for the Marigold World Championship, which was vacant at the time. I think this was their first, I think it was the first match they did for them. I don't know. Marigold was pretty new, I'm sure. This match, Jesus, the story of the match is, so if you're aware of Forbidden Door last year, we had Bozilla from New Japan. And Bozilla was brilliant, big ass woman. And basically the story of this match was Bozilla had basically jumped on Giulia's wrist at the time. So Giulia was in a cast and had a steel plate. So that was a lot of story of the match. And the match is very strike heavy. Very strike heavy. But overall, I mean, this match is great. It's so fucking good. It's a great example of what Sareee is. At least from my limited knowledge of Sareee. It really is a good showcase. In the sense of Sareee is she's one hard-hitting bitch. Frankly, she is. She's so hard-hitting. And then, Jesus, like, the aggression. Saree's a really aggressive wrestler, and that's what I like about it. But somehow in this match, it's the first match I've watched of Giulia non-WWE. And even then, it's a limited amount. But I've always liked Giulia. I've always thought Giulia's pretty cool. And obviously, if you're not aware, but I'm trying to get more into Joshi this year, as well as CMLL and New Japan, obviously. But Joshi's a big one, thanks to Joshi Dragon and Alpha's Race. Definitely there. They're definitely helping me with that. And I feel like with this match, what I really didn't expect was how aggressive Giulia was. Giulia's really aggressive, and I expect Giulia to be aggressive because I feel like that's Giulia's style, but not this aggressive. And the match isn't quick, which is very much a Joshi staple, at least to me. But it's not a quick match, but it doesn't need to be. The weight of the strikes, I mean, Jesus, Giulia's elbows, but then Saree's elbows. The match starts off with it trying to be controlled. And it's like Giulia and Sareee do a lock-up, and then Giulia's pushing back on Sareee, because Saree's strong, she's really deceiving. Because obviously, Joshi, small, quite thin Japanese women, and Sareee is that, but then, Jesus, she's strong and explosive. That is Sareee. And then it feels like Giulia's trying to obviously up that to try and, get it there so she can actually, keep up with Sareee. And what I like about it is, as an actual match, I'm sorry, I'm moving the camera here, it's pissing me off. What I like about this match is, I love how it's very back and forth, and like, there's never points where you're like, oh, this is Giulia's match, oh, this is Saree's match. No, it's very much, okay, this portion's Sareee, okay, this portion's very much Giulia. I think Giulia's the one I have the least experience of watching Giulia out of the two, at least in this format. And I feel like with this match, I did watch a bit more of Giulia rather, but I feel like that plays into the match's benefit because the amount of Giulia striking, and then a lot of not flips, a lot of suplexes, a lot of German suplexes, a lot of releases too actually, between the two. But Giulia looks incredibly strong here, incredibly strong in terms of physically and obviously metaphorically. Saree's just, the way Giulia's trying to, so it feels like throughout the match, at least to me, Giulia's trying to keep on top, so she's constantly aggressive, so Sareee is just kind of killed at the start, so Giulia's got that advantage, but it's keeping up with that precedent she set herself. So, but then, when it happens, there's a point in the match where she's hitting Sareee, And Sareee just looks at her like that, and it's like kind of like a Takeshita's type of thing, and it's like, oh fuck indeed. And so what they do is Sareee just hits her once, and like I thought Giulia was gonna drop, and she goes back, then staggers, and that's where it becomes kind of Saree's like kind of match where Sareee starts running, doing like these drop kicks, very fucking good. It's a very strike heavy match. I thought it'd be a lot of aerial, and it's not that much aerial. What I like about in the match is Giulia goes outside the ring and she goes to the announce table and she tries to get the table. This is very early on and it's very much a Schrodinger's table. But then Sareee comes out and Sareee starts beating the hell out of her, so they start brawling and get back in the ring eventually. But then obviously the table comes, but they don't take the table straight away. And obviously if you know Japanese tables, they're a bit more solid compared to American wrestling tables, which, you know, I always prefer. It's what makes the Kenny and Okada match that much better. But there's a point where Sareee goes to the top rope, she's screaming, "Oh, Karen!" And then she's jumping, and then she does it again, jumping. She does like this massive high, like the air they get. There's still some aerial, obviously, but Sareee adds a lot to it. There's a lot of stomps from Sareee, which I didn't expect, like in a good way, in the sense of like, there's a lot of kicks with like the, you know, jump, like a coup de grace, essentially like a ballet kick, I call it. And, you know, a lot, they're very daggery, and that's what I really like. Like, I've said this about for a while when I'm watching Joshi, and it's like, Joshi's very much a different style of wrestling, obviously, it's very different. And the one who I really hold this example highly is Rio from AAAW Shock, and she just puts her body weight and is able to, like, just direct her body weight so differently. And Sareee kind of does that here, but only in a downwards momentum. It's so fucking cool. They do obviously do a fucking basically a power bomb with each other on there, with Giulia following up. Sareee does that dive 3 times. There's a lot of good submission holds here that I really like. Like Giulia does this brutal figure 4 at the start. It's basically a figure 4. And then she's leaning like that. She does a back one, and Saree's vocals, the way they sell, this is what I really think the match is one of its best credits that I'll never get the credit for, is the pair of these women sell like I've never seen. And that's what Joshi, like, again, even from the limited amount of Joshi I've seen, that seems to be a very strong point of Joshi wrestling. And Jesus, Giulia's just entire facials here just sell, and then just how Sareee screams. Sareee makes her presence known, and that pain, she sells that pain so fucking effectively. Sareee sells like being in a war, and that's what I love about Sareee. She, like, even again from the Syuri match I watched a while ago, she sells that like hell, and it's brilliant. It's definitely the way to go. Like, she's like, the way it's something about Saree's hair, where Saree's hair just goes dead messy, but then she looks out of it, and like, it's not like just a generic, like, you know, when The Rock takes a stunner and he's like a zombie like that. No disrespect, that's fun, but it's not that type of sell. It's genuine, like, oh fuck, Saree's been through hell. And because Saree's got very rosy cheeks as well, Nakano's got this. I remember saying this to my buddy, and it was like, I'm just gonna call him Alf, and because they've got quite rosy cheeks, they look more wiped and they look more like, you know, emotional, just because of the cheeks and the pigmentation. It's so weird, but it's so good. Giulia's facial expressions of all the kickouts, there's some brilliant kickouts. The figure 4 Giulia does, again, like I said, she's leaning back, and it's like, it's not like a typical figure 4, she's just sitting on it, but she's really attacking the ankle, and so he's screaming like fuck, and then Giulia's just still screaming at it, and she's still forcing it. No, it's brilliant. It's so good. There's points where, like, there's where Sareee basically is getting battered by Giulia for a good portion, and then Sareee gets up. It's when Giulia's going to the top rope for a dive, and she goes up, and Sareee walks up like actual zombie, like genuine like a zombie, and she pulls Giulia down. Oh, it's brilliant. And then the match kind of gets to a point, so, like, again, there's such brutal shit. They go through the table, they eventually come back. It's when Sareee is actually taken down for a good bit by Giulia in that little run. Giulia rags the table back off the announcers, takes the tarp off, gets Sareee, puts her on the shoulders, and they go through the table. And this is where you're like, oh fuck, this is going to be the finish. They drag her back in, Sareee gets the kick out. And the kick outs are really good here. They're not your generic American-styled kick outs of a pin. They're not. They're really well worked in the sense of, it's very small movements. It's kind of like the Syuri match I talked about, not Syuri, the Hazuki match I talked about with Mercedes, where the kickouts are a lot less pronounced, but in a way that works. It's like, it sells that just pure effectiveness, and it's not very pin. It's not like that. It's very much, we're going to build to pin, and obviously the pinfalls do come more often, but like, it's more to build, frankly, Giulia's expression. Giulia's expression of being wiped, like, what the fuck's going on, is incredible. It really is. It's one of the best aspects of the entire match. It was insane because it's a great match. The finish, I mean, so after this point, so Saree's got Giulia on a hold, and she takes the cast off, and she starts attacking the arm, the hand, obviously. And I thought the finish was a bit underwhelming. They do get the finish, so like, Sareee gets the win by attacking the arm, and I thought it was a pinfall. I was like, wait, what? I'm like, I think that a lot of the crowd weren't really into this match, which I never got. I thought it was a great match, I really did. And I just thought with this, the finish kind of took me like, wait, what, is that the real finish? And Giulia's obviously getting saved. It looked like a genuine, we can't really fuck with this hand. There has to be a very small amount of physical contact, then we have to go for it. Sareee starts attacking the hand, and it was the ref who called it off, and Giulia didn't submit or tap or anything. And that's what I thought was very interesting. I didn't think they should have done that. I think they should just give a pin, but obviously it makes sense to build into the hand. So that means Sareee was Sareee wins. She was I don't know if she was the first, but she was a winner of the Marigold World Championship, which was vacant. And she gets the mic, and it's all in Japanese, even though the English come, but I don't really remember what to say. It was just basically like, you know, I'm so happy, you know, proud, credit to Giulia. And then Giulia, like, I didn't really listen to it, but the way she said, oh my God, I mean, this is just, I think a lot of people are now onto the fact that Giulia is, like, incredible, and, like, yeah, but, like, this ending to this match, I mean, Jesus Christ, the way she sells the heartbreak of not winning that belt, I don't think I've seen a lot of heartbreak like it, like, in terms of, you know, oh, I'm wounded that I never won a belt in a title match. Like, people will use the image of Cody when he's looking and he's looking upset, like, bro, I've got nothing on this. Like, yeah, clearly he's upset, but no, this is the best, one of the best, if not the best reaction I've ever seen to losing the belt. Oh my God, it's incredible. She starts crying. She starts, like, Sareee puts her hand out and she smacks the hand because she just can't get over it, and she's trying to grab the belt, and she just falls to her knees, grabbing it. Oh my God, the symbolism, the imagery of that alone, where on your knees grabbing onto the belt that you haven't won to just fall. Oh my God, it just encapsulates how good of a fucking match it is. That just blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. I thought that something so small, but so fucking effective. So, it's like the Hangman, when Hangman makes Swerve in the steel cage. And it's like that moment where Hangman walked back. It's like that small moment where you're like, that doesn't do a lot. And Hangman didn't even fully walk back. He just goes to walk back. Woman screams and he goes back and he starts going mental because he's finally won. But it's like, oh no, that, like, it's the same. It's something so small, but it's so perfected. There's not a lot that can beat that. That Hangman moment's one of my favourite moments ever in wrestling. And this is fucking up there for any sort of reaction to a loss I've ever seen. I mean, it beats fucking Tyson Fury singing American Pie, doesn't it? It kind of depresses you to know what Giulia's doing after watching that, to be honest. But Jesus, just, you watch this and just go, Jesus, the talent in here is absolutely insane. It's truly incredible. Incredible. So there's not a lot of words to describe it. I think Sareee looks absolutely incredible. I think it's a great showcase to watch if you want to get into Sareee. Giulia, I mean, it's the same with Giulia, frankly. If you want to watch Giulia that's not Fed-coded, there you go. There's a match to watch, and it's a great match, against one of the greatest Joshi wrestlers ever, if not the greatest. It's just, it's a really good special match. And I do feel like, for one, it's a great introduction, and I don't think it's the best. Again, admits a very lack of experience, but it's not the best of either of their matches they've ever had. I don't think that's a wild statement to make, but it's a great example, and honestly, I do recommend this to a lot of people because it feels like you've got that familiarity with knowing who Giulia is, and that, you know, if you know who Sareee is as well, and it just feels like it's a very interesting match. And I think for someone who hasn't watched Joshi a lot, specifically myself as well, it's a great introductionary to that style. I fucking love this. I thought this match was truly, truly excellent. And I think everything, the small details in this match, just shows how good of a style Joshi wrestling is. This was fucking great. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Giulia versus Sareee for the Marigold vacant world title at the time in 2024. Let me know what you thought of the match. Let me know what you think of Sareee, obviously, and let me know what you think of Giulia as well overall. Let me know what you think of both women, because I thought this match, and Joshi in general more, I'm going to cover it, at least try them once a week. This is very fucking good. I really enjoyed this.